Good morning and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. I want to thank each of you that responded to my last video where I was asking for assistance and some suggestions, and so many of you responded to me both in the comments and sent me messages kind of giving me ideas and support in what I'm doing here. So I thank you because I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there is content that you want to watch. It's not about how many views I get. It's that what I'm putting out there is something that those that are watching don't leave and feel like they've wasted their time. So I do appreciate it. Today's video, I'm going with one of the suggestions that, well, I had put out about would you be interested in seeing things about the various gadgets I have around the kitchen and the homestead. I did get some positive feedback on that you would like to see those type of videos. A lot of the things that I'm going to use in these videos aren't anything that's special, that you've got to go to some rare antique store or something to find, or specialty store. It's things a lot of folks have in their kitchen, but they're just either collecting dust or taking up space in a cabinet somewhere. So I'm going to show you how I use them. I did get rid of a lot of gadgets recently before Christmas because, frankly, it was things I wasn't using that much and they're just taking up space. So the ones that I do have left here in my kitchen, I use, and I use frequently. And I use them not because I don't know how to do things by hand, but because it makes my life easier and it saves me time. Because I know everybody is crunched for time, and with us, it's no different, and we need to cut corners wherever we can on time. So I'm going to be sharing with you this morning a gadget that a lot of you have. I don't know if you use it or not, but it's my food processor. Now, it's not the highest dollar food processor, but it works, and so I'm going to show you this morning a use that I'm desperately in need of, so it was going to happen whether I filmed this or not. So if you'll stand by, I will show you what I'm going to do this morning. I had bought these potatoes probably a month ago because they were on sale, and I don't typically just buy something because it was on sale, but I was out of potatoes. And with the holiday coming up, I wanted to have some potatoes in the house, and so I had bought these, but because there's just two of us, we didn't have company over Christmas, so they didn't all get eaten. And as you can see, they've started sprouting because it's warm in the house, and that's just what potatoes do. So I'm not going to throw these away. Just because your potatoes start sprouting don't mean that you're gonna throw them out. That to me is just such a waste. So I'm not going to throw these out, but I am going to get them scrubbed up and then come back and I will show you how I'm going to use these. Now you see I have these potatoes all scrubbed up. They're all nice and clean, and I have my little paring knife here that if I run across a bad spot that I don't like the looks of, I'll cut it out. Now I know people are in two camps when it comes to potatoes. Some, like my husband, want them peeled. If you're like me, I would prefer the peel on. But when I'm doing hash browns, I leave the peels on. If you don't like them that way, peel them, and you do you, boo. It's your kitchen, your rules. So if you like them peeled, you go right on ahead and peel them. I prefer them this way when I'm just shredding them up. So I'm going to go grab my food processor and I'll be right back. All right, I have my food processor set up here, and as I was telling you, this is not a high dollar food processor. I used to have a KitchenAid that I had for over 20 years, and it finally just wore out. And I don't use it as much as I did back when I bought the KitchenAid. So because of the lack of use that I have for one now, I couldn't justify the price. So I went with a less expensive brand. This is AICOK. I'm not sure if you pronounce it ACOK or how you pronounce it, but that is the brand that I have here. It is a lighter weight. I could not have picked up the KitchenAid that way because it was just extremely heavy. So if you're looking for one that is lightweight, because maybe you have some type of issues, you can't pick up something heavy, or you just don't want something heavy, this one works perfectly fine. I don't get paid to endorse it. That's just my observation since I've had it. It has not had heavy use, so I cannot promise how it'll hold up if I was using it every day. I do have the blade on here for shredding because that's what I'm going to be doing with these potatoes. Now this morning I took a potato that was about this size and I hand shredded it with, with just your little box grater, and I shredded it up, and that was no problem for one. Made hash browns for me and my husband for breakfast, but for a bowl full, I don't want to sit here and spend half the morning shredding these, so I'm going to use the food processor in place of that. So I'm going to get started and just show you how easy and fast it is for your food processor to grate up potatoes if maybe you just want some for breakfast or some other time. So bear with me, it's going to be a little noisy. All right, that was one potato, and you saw how fast that went. So that's how fast this whole bowl will go. So I'm just going to finish up this bowl. I'm not going to make you listen to this noise through every one of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and shred up the rest of these and show you the finished product. All right, as your bowl gets full, and it will, just time to trade out a little bit. Take these top little peelings. Now you can take these peelings here and you don't have to throw these away. Toss them with a little bit of olive oil and your favorite seasoning salt. Maybe sprinkle a little cheese like Parmesan cheese on them and bake them in the oven, roast them in the oven, and you've got some potato skins. So don't try to find uses for things without just throwing it away. So here are some soon-to-be potato skins that'll go with our Polish sausage for lunch. And I'm just going to take this out and transfer it into another bowl before I continue on with the rest of the potatoes. All right, in probably 5 minutes, maybe a minute or so over, you saw how many potatoes I started with. This is the finished product. I did not have enough room in this bowl to put the rest of the potatoes. So you can see it made quite a bit of shredded potatoes. So I am now going to do something that you see me picking out pieces here. It's just the bigger chunks of the potato skin that I'm throwing in a bowl over here because, like I said, I'll use these and I'll make some potato chips to go with, or some potato fries to go with our sausage that we're having later on today. So I have these potatoes now. Now you see something strange here in front of me. It's a towel. It's a clean towel, but it is a bath towel that has been washed, and as you can see, it's kind of a pitiful towel, so it's great for this purpose. And the purpose that I'm speaking of is getting some of the moisture out. Sorry for all the moving around here. Getting some of the moisture out of these potatoes. So I'm going to, I don't know how well you can see that because I don't have anyone operating my camera for me, so I'm not able to move it around, but all I'm doing is I am putting these potatoes one bowl at a time because there's not enough towel. I'm telling you, this was a lot of potatoes. Can't imagine people throwing these away, but sometimes they do if they're getting a little bit of if they're starting to sprout some, but I do not. So here's these potatoes, and I'm just going to get some of the moisture. I'm rolling it up like a jelly roll. Just getting some of that moisture out of there. Just squeezing it, just getting some of that out of there. Now, you can spend a little bit longer doing this with your own if you'd like, but that takes quite a bit of the moisture out. Then, of course, it takes time to get the potatoes off the towel here, but I'm telling you, it does help speed up the process on drying these out a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other bowl, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to spread these out and dry them just a wee bit more this way. And just see how much moisture is coming out. You can see the wetness of this towel, maybe, that the dampness that's coming out. And if you want to, move them around a little bit. Do the same thing. Because what I have planned for these, now the ones that I did for breakfast, I did the same way. I grated them up but I used the hand grater, of course. Grated them up, and then I dried them thoroughly before I cook them. Now, I'm not cooking all of these. I am going to use a different method to actually preserve them for use later. Now, what in the world could I use these for later? Well, not only can you, what I'm going to do, let me just tell you how I'm going to preserve these. I'm going to dehydrate them. And if you want me to, I will make another video on how I dehydrate these, and then maybe later on show you how I use the dehydrated potatoes, because you know, a lot of people think when they see them in a box at the store that, oh well, they're dehydrated hash browns, the only way I can use them are as hash browns. Well, that's not true, because what are the hash browns? They're potatoes. So you can rehydrate these and use them in anything that calls for potatoes. You can, of course, if you want to boil them up, it does not take much time at all to cook these once they're so fine, then dehydrated, and then rehydrated. So just bear that in mind, that once these are processed, they don't take long to cook at all. So you can use them any other way that you would use any other sliced potato. You can, depends on your recipes, you could use them to make potato bread. You could use them to make quiche, or, you know, that calls for potatoes. Potato soup, casseroles, breakfast burritos. I don't know how many of you out there are breakfast burrito fans, but it's one of my favorite breakfasts in the world. So anyway, lots of uses for these potatoes once they are done up this way. So please, if you have potatoes like this, please don't just chunk them out because they're starting to sprout. Find other uses for them. And as you can see, there were a lot of sliced potatoes come out of this, because I'm going to be busy for a little bit. So if you like this video and you want to see more like it, if you have not subscribed, please look down below. There will be a little subscribe icon. Just push that. That will let you know when there are other videos coming up like this one, or just whatever, because I cover a little bit of everything. But just press that subscribe button. It'll let you know when I've got other videos up. And if you like this, click the like button. It's that little thumbs up looking. If you're not familiar with YouTube, just click that little thumbs up button. I appreciate that. It lets me know that you appreciate the content in it. And it also tells YouTube that somebody is watching my videos, so they actually put them out there and, you know, as a suggestion for other people to watch, and that makes this channel grow. So if you're liking what you're seeing, just subscribe, like, and please share with your friends, because you know, it's always good to share with your friends. Anybody want some hash browns? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed being here and getting to visit with y'all just a little bit, as I made a big mess here. So I hope you come back, and if you have any comments, please make them down below. Look forward to hearing from you, and hope to see you again soon. Love y'all. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.